Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's time to rise, shine, and be great. First up, it's a brand new Mental Health Matters with Viking Psychiatry, and this conversation is a good one. Have you or someone that you know ever experienced ADHD? Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into the symptoms, the pros and the cons, and tangible treatment options. Then Electric Works is throwing a Hog Works takeover event on October 11th, giving you a magically free experience for the entire family. They join me in studio to discuss. Then get out your phones because it's epic discounts at epic prices. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry. Welcome back to Mental Health Matters. As we know, ADHD is often misunderstood, but Viking Psychiatry, they're using new tools to better understand how the brain works. And owner Sean Goddard is here to explain it all. Hello, Sean. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Okay, so ADHD, people really think that that has to do with a child or someone being super hyper, maybe unfocused. Is that the proper definition of it?
Yeah, no, ADHD is not limited to just being hyper. A lot of times when I talk to my clients, I explain to them, if you break ADHD down to its core, ADHD is just about communication. You know, the areas of the brain not communicating and networking and connecting the way that they're supposed to, which drives a lot of the difficulties that we can see in ADHD, and it goes far beyond just being hyper.
Yeah, and it's like something that we often say, you know, kids show it, but adults show it a lot too. And I think the thing is, now that we're learning more information about it, it can be diagnosed more in adults. And it's not so much a shameful thing, right? We talk a lot about stigma here. It's just a matter of what's happening within our brains, and there are treatment options. And that's exciting. So what type of treatments can people take for ADHD?
Well, when it comes to treatments, there's various options, right? It comes from addressing it naturally through supplements and exercise, right? We look at non-stimulant medications. So these are medications outside of, you know, like your typical Adderall, Ritalin, and those types of things. But the gold standard is often a stimulant type medication to help really stimulate that prefrontal cortex so that it's waking up, and it acts as its role as the CEO of the brain and helps with that communication and management and kind of pulling everything together.
So is there just one test, or you have to take multiple to really drill down on it?
Yeah, so traditionally when it comes to testing for ADHD, typically you would reach out and go see a psychologist and go through psychological testing, and very, very great way to go through testing. But number one, very limited options exist in this community. There's extended wait times, and sometimes it can also be very limited to diagnoses when they do that test. And so what we do at Viking Psychiatry is we have a multi-part step. Okay. Not only do we do a full psychological history, psychiatric history and assessment, we use three main things. We use something called CREOS, which is an individualized test, and that really is looking at like your memory, right, and the networks. Then we use another test called Total Brain, and the Total Brain is amazing because it really helps look at brain networks and activity, also emotional regulation and kind of that feedback response that can occur, because while we sometimes get weaknesses with ADHD, right, like overactivity, impulsivity, that type of stuff, we also get strengths that come with it. And they often can play against each other. And so this test really helps say, okay, yeah, you're super smart. Your brain works fast, but the problem is as you're trying to work fast and you make a mistake, then all of a sudden your brain slows down and focuses in on that mistake, right, and loses track and delays the process. And so this test really looks at you individually. And then the final thing we do is something called the Amen questionnaires from Dr. Amen. And these questionnaires look at individualizing, and looking at your subtype of ADHD, because we all know about like inattentive ADHD, right, which is what used to be known as ADD, and then there's hyperactive impulsive type, and then there's what's called combined type, right, and that's great, but that's kind of like a catch-all diagnosis in those areas. The subtype looks at you individually and how your ADHD presents. For example, young girls and women typically don't present as a very like hyperactive, bouncing off the couch type of situation. Typically, they often present like over worriers, overthinkers, and sometimes are often misdiagnosed as like OCD or severe anxiety disorders, when in fact, they have what often is referred to as an overfocus type of ADHD that leads to those ruminating thoughts and those overthinking, right, and those types of things. And so that subtyping really helps us determine not only do you have ADHD, but what type, so that we can guide our treatment specific to you, right? Not just, oh, you have this type of ADHD, here's your stimulant, right? So it's a very unique process that we've developed there over time, designed to really get to the core of who you are, what you're struggling with, and how we can help you improve.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so what is the difference between ADD and ADHD? Because I think you make a good point that they're sometimes conflated. So how can we tell the difference? Yeah,
really, this is just people in higher positions making it complicated. So we used to know ADD is attention deficit disorder, right? And then ADHD was more that hyperactive, impulsive type. And then with the changes in like the DSM-5, they got rid of the diagnosis of ADD, and now it's called ADHD inattentive type, right? So technically ADD doesn't exist anymore when it comes to the core diagnosis. What it's now known as is ADHD inattentive type. So that means that's somebody that's struggling on the intention side, but not struggling on like the hyperactive impulsive side, right? And so those tend to be the people that are a little bit quieter, that don't present as the class clown and interrupter and can't sit in their seat and that type of stuff, right? Instead, they're the ones when they're trying to do their test, right? They see something out the window and then they're focused out the window and right, and then they're trying to do their next question and somebody makes a sound, and so then they're looking at that, and before they know it, the test is over and they've only answered 30% of their test, right? And so then there's that hyperactive attentive side, or impulsive side, right, which is that more traditional often presentation we get. And then they have what's called combined type, which is a combination of those two, right, where not only is our hyperactive impulsive side leading to inattention, but we just have a severe inattentive issue, right? And those combine and create a confluence of difficulties for people.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a good point before about there being weaknesses and strengths, because a lot of times the weaknesses are what's highlighted. It's like having this is a problem, but you bringing up strengths can give people encouragement, just because it's something that they want to treat and be better at, but it's also like you're not broken. So can you highlight on some of the strengths that someone may see within this that could be identifiers that they need to get tested?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I could use myself as an example, right? Because I have ADHD, and for a long time I struggled because it was improperly managed. And so one of the things that I tend to be is I have a creative brain, right? And a creative mind. But what I say that often goes along with creativity in ADHD is impulsivity, right? So if you have a creative mind, right? Ooh, I could do this, right? And so you impulsively do it. But then you have another creative idea, right? And so before you know it, you're doing that. And then that first thing is kind of left half done. And so for me, one of the things I struggled with was that having that creative mind and having all these ideas of things that I wanted to do, and but never actually getting a lot of those things done because I was constantly impulsively moving on to the next thing and the next great idea, right? And so once my ADHD was looked at and I was able to say, okay, this is what's going on with me, and this is how I individually treat my ADHD. Well, now my impulsivity is down, but the key is to not take away that creativity as you treat it. And when people mistreat or overtreat ADHD to try to get rid of that impulsivity, they can get rid of that creativity at the same time and suppress it. And so we look to find that balance of finding what's unique about you and your strengths, and strengthening those even more while reducing the things like your impulsivity that can lead to roadblocks or never getting ahead. I know if my ADHD was never correctly treated, I wouldn't be sitting with you here today, right? Because I was constantly bouncing and bouncing. So that's just a core example.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff, because I'm sure so many people are identifying themselves in everything that you're saying, because I think that it's not talked about enough.
Absolutely.
And so what ages can participate in this testing that you offer?
Yeah, so right now we're doing ages 13 and above, and this includes adults, because we do find that there are a lot of adults out there who have ADHD who weren't appropriately diagnosed when they were growing up, especially very core to what we've been doing. A very significant portion of my practice have been women and girls who weren't diagnosed or were misdiagnosed as having like OCD or ADHD, but we treat ages 13 and above at this time, assess 13 and above. Our intention is to expand that eventually, but our core focus has been catching those people who weren't caught in those 6 to 12 years of age, and really help those people, especially high schoolers, because it's the earlier you catch it and start treating it, the less chances for long-term complications and for issues down the road with mental health, such as depression, anxiety, those types of things. The studies show us the sooner we catch it, the sooner we treat it, the better off they are. Their brains are still developing, right? So we can cause change that becomes permanent and affects them for their whole life. And for those adults, it's not too late, right? I just was sitting with, I think she was 57 years old the other day, and sure enough, her whole life she'd been a struggle, going from job to job, career to career, struggling with money, struggling with all these different things, right? And when it all came down to it, she had undiagnosed ADHD, and she was never diagnosed because it wasn't talked about in her family, right? Girls didn't get it when she was growing up. It was a boy's thing, and even if you had it, you didn't treat it. They'd just grow out of it, right? And so she's already started treatment, and I mean, she was crying on my couch about the difference already in her brain and feeling calm and finally not hearing 100 things going on at a time. And so she's somebody that I'm very excited about to see what that future looks like for her.
That is awesome. You're right. People don't talk about it, but we're talking about it here.
That's right.
So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for helping.
And if you or your teen may be dealing with ADHD, well, Viking Psychiatry offers a variety of testing. All you have to do is contact them so they can give you the proper answers. We'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
If you are a Harry Potter fan, well, listen up. Electric Works is throwing a wizarding event on October 11th called Hogwarts Takeover. And here to share more about it is Daisy Bouchot, their market manager, and Jama Ross, the executive director of Blessings and a Backpack. Good morning, ladies. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. Okay, so this event is something that has taken place in the past and is very popular, I hear. And you actually created this event, right?
Yeah, the event itself was actually created years ago at a different nonprofit that I worked at. During COVID, it kind of shut everything down for a bit. And last year, I thought, the Electric Works campus was new, and I thought what a great idea and an opportunity to be able to take not only the vision and the spirit of the event that we had previously had, but be able to take it to Electric Works and really take over the entire campus.
Yeah.
So much space and such a great opportunity to bring not only the magic of the festival, but to be able to bring together so many different businesses and nonprofits and partners to really make this event come to life.
Yeah, and when you say take over the entire campus, so this isn't just going to be in Union Street side, this is going to be everywhere?
Yeah, everywhere. Last year we used actually the entire campus, and this year we've kind of got it a little bit more like just down Dynamo Alley and all those businesses along there, but we're really excited to see how this year goes.
Yes. Okay. So what should people expect from it? What type of festival is this?
So the great thing about it is that, number one, it's a free event.
Okay.
It's family friendly. It's not something that's going to break the bank if you want to take all the kids and bring them. So it's from 10 to 6.
Okay.
So you can come anytime. Feel free to dress up. Although I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of the dress up that we have is from the adults. So feel free to come and nerd out with us. You will feel very welcome.
Okay.
And as far as activities, we have over 70 different partners that we have that will all be running different activities, different foods. So think
Different shopping.
Think of everything that you can from magical worlds, like potions classes, wand shopping, a unicorn bin that you can like actually pet the unicorn, magic creatures. There's ghoul studies where you can do a ghost tour of the city. So like literally everything magical you'll be able to have at your disposal at this festival.
Yes, and I have to mention this beautiful wand that you gave me and that you made. So talk to me about this.
Well, we're very fortunate that we're one of the nonprofits that really benefits from this festival. So Blessings in a Backpack runs the wand shop. We make over 1,200 wands by hand.
Wow.
No two are alike. And we sell them, and all of the money goes to feeding kids in our community. So one wand feeds 5 kids from our
really?
5 kids from our program. So I mean, it's pretty great. And like I said, no two are alike. So they're very unique, and it's our part of how we can be part of this festival, but also like it's sustaining your community when you're coming and you're working with one of these partners that is part of the festival.
Yeah, okay, so this is fun. So wizarding, so a little bit of everything, like you said, in the magical world. And people can participate in different contests, where you have different contests throughout the day?
So actually, I believe it's the League of Women Voters. They're bringing an actual live voting machine for people to be able to vote for their different color combinations, their favorite magical creatures, all that kind of stuff. So that's really interactive. We're excited about that. Cedar Creek Candles, they're coming. They're doing candle making classes throughout the day. There's just a lot of different activities going on.
Yeah, that is a lot of organizations really coming together for this. Okay, and so you say people can, it's absolutely free, no tickets needed. They just come 10 to 6 and just have fun. Bring the kids, and it's just a whole lot of stuff. So, and this is also supporting businesses. So talk to me a little bit about that aspect of it.
So not only are there nonprofits that each have an activity that they're using to raise awareness for their organizations, but this is also like a lot of small businesses that are bringing like the food, the drinks, the shopping, the vendors. We also have like the farmers market that's happening during that as well.
Summit City Farmers Market will go on from 9 to 1, and then Union Street Market, all the merchants will be open all day, and they'll have different various specials in there too.
Yeah.
So it's all supporting local community in so many different ways just by coming and just enjoying the event.
Yeah, and I know I was just in Electric Works the other day, and I see new places popping up, so people can come and explore and see what's happening.
It's pretty cool.
I love it. Well, thank you both for coming in.
Thank you
to
for
see
having us. Appreciate it.
And if you would like more information about the Hog Works Takeover, it's taking place on October 11th. It's open for the whole family, and it is a free event, so why not go and enjoy it? And I'll see you bippity boppity boop after the break.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
Welcome to Epic Discounts by BestReviews.com. I'm Melissa Bergamini. Scan the QR code on your screen to unlock big savings on today's top deals. We've got an exciting lineup today, products that make life smarter, simpler, and a whole lot more enjoyable. Let's kick things off with something that might just become your favorite household assistant. Meet the Narwhal Flow, a powerhouse 2-in-1 robot vacuum and mop. The Flow Wash system self-cleans the mop in real time. It handles carpets, corners, edges, and when it's done, it empties itself. No hands, no hassle. And speaking of powerhouses, let's talk about the kind you take to the gym. If you're looking to boost your energy and performance, Cellucor C4 pre-workout is the way to go. all with zero sugar involved. Now, of course, what goes up must come down, and that's where recovery matters most. That's why Cellucor Whey Protein pairs perfectly with a pre-workout. You get 25 grams of high-quality protein in every serving with zero added sugar and just 140 calories. Now, from your health to your four-legged family member's health, the Base Paws Dog DNA Kit lets you uncover what makes your pup truly unique. With results covering over 300 breeds, more than 280 health risks, and 30 traits, it gives you deep insight into your dog's ancestry, health predispositions, and personality. It's knowledge that can help you care smarter and love your pets even deeper. And just like we want the best tools to care for our pets, we also want the best tools for our digital lives as well. That brings us to the Apple iPad Air with the M3 chip. Whether you're working, creating, or just unwinding, the 11-inch liquid retina display delivers rich, vibrant visuals. You get 256 gigabytes of storage, Wi-Fi 6E for blazing fast speeds, Touch ID, and all-day battery life. And with 12 megapixel cameras on both the front and the back, you're ready really for anything. Let's get a look at all of our products one last time. From smart cleaning to smart living, energy boost to pet insights, these are the products designed to upgrade every part of your life. Head to epicdiscounts.com or just scan that QR code on your screen and get ready to scan, shop, and save with Epic Discounts by Best Reviews.
Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. You can find more on the products and where to buy them on WANE.com.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. We hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading the WANE app, and also checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. While you're out, give a little smile, give a little wave, share a little light and love today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow for Friday. Hey.
Go to the Living Local 15 page on WANE.com for recipes from the show, to watch a segment again, and to get information on products and services featured on Living Local 15. Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.